Hey guys, Yummy here again, and the fall patch for Battlefield 4 has finally come to us, bringing so many freaking changes to the game. And probably the biggest thing to come with this new patch is the brand new community map coming to Battlefield 4 from CTE, and it's titled Operation Outbreak or something like that. And I don't really know who came up with the names for it, but I don't really like the name of this one. But anyway, it's a really awesome map. It's great to finally be able to experience it with full 64 player conquest. On CTE, there's so few players all the time that I never actually got to experience 64 players. But as you guys know, I already did a video on the community map like less than a month ago, so I'm not really going to be talking about the map, more about some of the changes that have come with the patch. In addition to the new map, you can also now get the Phantom Bow just really easily. It's way easier than the original way of having to go through that giant circus of trying to get down that stupid elevator on Hangar 21. And now you can just go to about the middle of the map by sea and you'll find the Phantom Bow inside of a case, which is what I did. So now I finally have it and I can use it in the base game, which to say I probably won't use it that much because it's a really crappy weapon. But I think it's cool anyway, and sometimes you can have some hilarious moments using it. So I'm glad that they're allowing the entire community of the game to be able to finally use it. Perhaps the biggest patch change that has come to the game from the fall patch that I enjoy the most is the new institution of the teamwork initiative, and this is completely changing how the point system works in Battlefield to better reward people who play the objective. And now if you're sniping, if you're long range getting marksman headshots, it doesn't give you extra points for the meters, so you can't just rack up tons of points without ever even coming close to approaching an objective. So now it'll just tell you the distance of the headshot, but that number won't actually interpret into points. But I actually really like what they did to other game modes. For specific game modes, they changed how many points you get when. So now in Conquest, instead of 150 points capturing a flag, you get 400, and you get like 1,300 points now for winning a game of Conquest. So now it's like you're no longer penalized for playing Conquest Large, which I always hated because, you know, I'm like to think of myself as a pretty good player, but my skill level, that stupid skill level on the profile would always be pretty, average to say the least, and there'd always be all these players with like 600, 700 skill, and I'd never be able to hit that. And the reason is because they're always playing like TDM or domination, and the biggest factor in the skill level is score per minute. And on Conquest Large, just by default, your score per minute is not going to be that high unless you just go absolutely ham in a tanker or scout helicopter. So now that they finally adjusted this score per minute thing, I'm finally starting to move back up, and it's no longer hurting me even though I'm the only one on my team who's playing the fucking objective. There's been tweaks across all vehicles in this patch, and most of them are trying to establish vehicles as being like a lot more dominant than they were before, especially for Conquest Large, so that you can't just be completely raped by infantry as easily. You know, I mean, they're not it's not like huge buffs. They're pretty moderate, but it's enough to make a fairly substantial difference on the battlefield. But the only vehicle that didn't really get that big of a buff was the MAA, the Mobile Anti-Air. And now it's actually been nerfed quite a bit to where it's no longer going to be the anti-anything machine, which I'm so thankful for because it's been totally broken since Battlefield 4's release. It's funny how it took so long for the MAA to finally get nerfed, and 2 years later, here we are, and it's finally not going to be this magic rape machine. So I'm really happy for that. And also, they've instituted below radar finally for air vehicles. So now I think it's 25 meters for helicopters and 50 meters for jets. You can fly in below, and lock-ons from other air vehicles won't be able to hit you. For some reason, though, they left in Stingers and Iglas being able to lock onto you under radar. I guess this is just to make it to where it's not completely overpowered like things like attack helicopters were borderline in Battlefield 3. The reload times and damage models of the tank shells have been tweaked, and the Mare's Leg actually got a range buff, so now within a certain range it's actually more effective than the 44 Magnum, which is great because the Mare's Leg, while hilarious, was actually fairly useless. There just were better things out there, so now people might actually start using it again, which is good. But I think overall it's just kind of amazing seeing how much longevity we've actually gotten out of Battlefield 4. Whenever it was first released, for months people were crying about the end of the franchise, saying that it was all gonna die. But thanks to DICE LA and their hard work over these past like year and a half trying to fix this game, it's actually shown how great this game actually is. I think I've had more enjoyment in Battlefield 4 than I ever had on Battlefield 3 and on 360 or PC, and I'm really happy about it. This is like my game now. I've been through a period of not playing it that much because I was just thinking I was starting to get bored with it, but I'm gonna actually start playing it a lot more again and return to more of my routine kind of schedule of playing this game and start posting a little bit more gameplay on it. The only problem is I would make more videos on this game if there was actually news to talk about, but quite honestly, everything about this game has been covered by so many YouTube channels. That's why I just kind of have stopped making Battlefield videos. I'm gonna work really hard trying to come up with videos to do next. So I really enjoyed this patch. It's made the game a lot more enjoyable, and hopefully it's gonna revive the community back up even more. And this game could last all the way up until Battlefield 5 easily. Like even through Battlefront's release, I think Battlefield 4 will survive. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you did, make sure you hit the like and subscribe button. And until next time, this is Yummy. Goodbye and good hunting.